Hey YouTube, a wee bit of an attempt to do a quick video, not going to happen is it? So this has been hanging on my wall for the last couple of weeks. This is, if you're a BICH aficionado, shaped to shock, built to rock. Yeah, I used to have a guitar box with that on it, sitting in the bathroom in the last house. I would always like that thing. So this is a 1983. You can tell with these ones because it says the serial number starts R83 NJ series BICH, BICH, which they actually changed to the B model because there was a few states in America that refused to stock a guitar called the BICH, even though it's BICH, not BITCH. This is Nagoya Japan, bolt-on neck with a really small, kind of like the Washburn Raven actually. Is it the Washburn Raven that's got the small? Not really, no. It's this kind of normal one. What's the other guitar that's got the really small neck plate? I can't remember. Anyway, it's the Scavenger bass. Has a small square neck plate like that. Made in Japan on it. Obviously, I'm a bit of a sucker for the made in Japan guitars. So this isn't exactly the same shape as a normal BICH. The Japanese ones were kind of their own design a little bit. It's called a skinny BICH sometimes because it's a bit thinner here. You've probably seen the one that's got like the body art series, which is like a girl's bum and a bikini on it. And once you've seen that, you kind of can't unsee it. They don't normally have this headstock. This is one of my favourite headstocks. It kind of reminds me of old sort of 60s, 70s guitars. What's it now? Like sort of Tesco's and stuff like that. It's just oversized. I think it's great. Or maybe a bit like a Gibson Thunderbird. BICHs don't often have this. Every time I see one that doesn't have this headstock, it now looks weird to me because I'm used to looking at this one. I got this in bits, and it's a totally cool. I don't know if you can really see. It is pink. I think it's shocking pink or something it's called. So I've got a Wilkinson trem on it. When I got this cheap. It was actually from a guy up the road. I think he sometimes watches, Stevie. I think what he'd done, he'd bought it because I think it had EMGs in it that he wanted and a Floyd Rose, I think. So I think what he's done is he's taken the EMG and the Floyd Rose and probably just gone, I don't really want a guitar, so just stuck it on Gumtree for sod all. Actually, this came up on the BC Rich Junkies Facebook page, and it was like just somebody in America going, oh my god, look at this, I can't believe I'm not there. And I was looking at it going, look at that pair. That's just in sterling. Ah. The BC Rich page was going mental for it. I wish I was in the UK so I could just go and buy this. And I was like, well, okay, I'll give a look, see if it's still for sale. I was like, hold on, I know this guy. Stevie, is it Stevie Durand? Can't remember. Anyway, so I got it for buttons. Needed a lot of work. This is a Wilkinson trem, which might not be staying on it. This, as I said, this at some point has been fitted with a Floyd Rose. Originally, it would have had a Stratty type trem, but there's bridge posts, and I'm going to put another bridge on JPAX number 1. And if these bridge posts add up, fit in exactly with the bridge post of the bridge that I'm going to have to drill bridge posts for that, I'm just going to put this straight onto that because it's a Strat. Decent trem. Yeah. So the tuners, I think, were already on it. I believe the tuners were already on it. The pickups are, this is a fancy wired by Seth something. Seymour Duncan, not sure which model it is. I know my pal Michael in 1998 went to America and came back with a Jackson Kelly, 2 Seymour Duncans. The bridge pickup never worked, and a rat pedal. And I've managed to get the pickup and the rat pedal off him over the last 30 years, whatever it was. And actually the desk that I'm running through now. Cheers, Michael. I bought him off him. Yeah, so I've wired this myself. So I've put in a master volume control, toggle switch, and that's a dual coil split, a push-pull, and a tone for the neck pickup, and that's a series parallel I think it was just one of those ones I wanted to have a guitar at a series parallel, and it had a. I think the only pot I had was a push pull, so it got one. Yeah, so as usual, I like to pick up a guitar like this and play some Hank Marvin type stuff. I was actually talking to my pal last night. He was saying that he used to have a BC Rich V that his pal pure loved. It was a pure beast. It was pure rocking and it was like his pal loved playing it, even though he had a Gibson SGs. It was just pure and it's like, it's just not my experience with BC Riches, because I've been buying the. It's kind of not common knowledge. It's the internet thought is you get the American made BC Riches, then you get the NJ Japanese series, and then you get everything else. Basically, is how BC Riches work. There is a huge gulf between this and any of the other BC Riches I've played. From I had a Warlock which looked great, but it was what was it, 88? I don't think it was NJ series. NJ used to stand for Nagoya, Japan. For I think they maybe stopped in about 1984, something like that, maybe 83, 84, maybe only a couple of years of it. And they decided to make it cheaper, so what they did was they opened up an office in New Jersey, and then the neck plate said BC Rich, New Jersey. Doesn't say made in America, no, because that would be a lie. It just so happens to be the New Jersey series, and it just so happens that it's got it's just got a PO box. It's just got the address of the office on it. What would make you think that it was made in America? No, not made in America. Oh no. All the guitar companies did it. Kramer, BC Rich, a lot. There's a lot of companies that did that, because it doesn't technically say made in America. Washburn were worse. They actually had a guy that actually sanded off the bit that said made in Japan and stamped a serial number. They're dead easy to find because they've all got the same serial number. Because obviously American guitar's worth more. So for a couple of years, these are Reign Supreme. I've actually got this one, and I've got a Wave, which is still a bad vibe guitar. I need to do something with it. Make me be digging this out. I actually did play this in a band for a while in Cranking House. For some reason, it was maybe. I don't think it was because I turned up with this guitar, but we were doing Kiss Lick It Up for a while, for a couple of rehearsals before. I thought, look, I just can't play this song. There was nothing. Lick It Up by Kiss. I mean, okay, there's no song. It just goes da 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 da. That's it. You're like, where the hell are we? You know, it's like it's one of those ones that's like, pure right. Is the song nearly finished? It's like, pure. Oh, it's been on for 4.5 minutes. It must be about ending a bit now. That's it. And I think there was one bit where it kind of goes, oh, and it's just impossible to keep going in it. But this was the guitar. It was absolutely perfect for it. Now, as I started saying there, the original BC Riches, more of the Mockingbird, I think, because it was the one, the first big one. It was designed to mock other guitars, so you like a Mockingbird does, it copies things. So, do you want a Telly or a Strat sound or a Les Paul sound or blah blah blah? The Mockingbird did it with all the extra switches and shit like that. That was the plan. So what you end up with these being quite close to the American ones, closer to the American ones than it is to the next best range. Is it's not really the heavy metal guitar that it looks like. None of the ones I have are. That's what it's able to do, It's actually much harder to play clean, silly stuff when I can see it in the window. I'm even wearing these jeans because I hate these jeans. They're like tights. Definitely bad. Actually, kind of going for a bit of a colour combo with my super new shoes and my Buckfast t-shirt. Yeah, no, I've got to. I'm going over to Jen's to fix there's a slab or shed's moved and there's a slab in the way and I'm going to cut it halfway with the angle grinder. I tried to do it last week, but I was wearing my good shoes, so I'm just wearing crap clothes so I can just get manky this time and get it over with. Yeah, so we got a Seymour Duncan something distortion, and then that's a DiMarzio, which I can't remember what one it is. I need to take it out and have a look at it. Yeah, so I'll put some rock on, I suppose. Also, I always talk about how I like the bit that you can see on a guitar is the back of the neck. On this one, it's shocking pink, which I like. It's got a very big looking headstock when you look at it. It's probably, I mean, I suppose it's that much longer than it really has to be. The tuners don't look particularly close together. It just feels, it feels dead big. And the body of the guitar, you get that with a lot of these, the spikier looking guitars. It's actually really small. Like physically from here to here is quite big, but there's big gaps missing, and it's like there doesn't seem to be a lot of it actually. It's a very light guitar. It's passing the balancing on a Strat test quite nicely. Try this expensive Seymour Duncan. Oh, it does do. It doesn't look like it's. It looks like it's the bridge is kind of sitting really close to the body, but that's been getting the full two notes. Easy. How does that work? So sometimes you get like what was the one I was messing about with the other day? No, I can't remember which one it was. The bridge seemed to be sitting. You could almost get your finger behind the back of the bridge. This is like totally 2mm, but it's enough to give you up bend. Don't know how that works. No, actually, the series parallel thing was probably to make it a bit more metal. So that's bypasses the switch. So that's both pickups on in series. See, that's a usable sound, I think. So that's the both pickups on, and this is like a, why would you put a series parallel switch in? This is both pickups on in parallel. And then in series, I also think this might be I remember when Dave, Jen's pal, Luther, dude was talking, was up here, he's had this great idea about the concept guitar and all this stuff, and yeah, I think he was really a little bit deflated. I wasn't really thinking, he asked me, what do you think about the concept? So, I was like, I've got this great idea of using like a Strat neck, but putting 24 frets on it on a Gibson scale, which means you've got like a Strat neck blank, but it's obviously got a different fingerboard on it. But it comes in at 24 3/4 inch scale, and then it's like pure. And my immediate answer was pure, oh yeah, I'll get a couple of BC Richies to do that. I mean, I could almost I think maybe he thought of it himself, but didn't know BC Rich did it. So that's what this has done. So this is the actual length of the neck is the same as a Strat, but it's got more frets on it. So the frets are all squished up. So the bridge, instead of being here, is here. You do need to move the bridge if you're going to do this. So that's basically what this is. This is Dave built this one. So it's the same. It's the same neck concept. Where obviously if this was Strat scale, it would only have 22 frets or 21 frets, and the bridge would be further back. But I do kind of dig the shorter scale. It makes the strings a bit bendier. To be honest, I'm not even really sure I would notice. And if it was a guitar that I wasn't familiar with, I would notice if you handed me a Telecaster that had the Gibson scale, I think. And I think I would notice if you gave me like an SG that Defender scale. If you gave me a guitar that wasn't really any of those things, or neither an unknown element, I'm not sure I'd be able to tell when everything else is different. You've got all these extra bits. But these are funny looking guitars. I think this is still in production, apart from the fact they've changed it to, as I said, a B. These are not the right knobs, but I quite like them. I need to have a look and see what it's meant to have on it. Not that I'm wanting this guitar to be particularly original. I love its ridiculousness, and it totally does not look like the sort of guitar that I would really like. But it's one of those ones that every now and then I dig it out and it's like, this is a fucking belter of a guitar. Okay, it does have expensive pickups in it, so it sounds great, but there's more to it than that. It's, I don't know. I love its ridiculousness. There's something amazing about the original BC Rich shapes where they've just like pure, yeah! It doesn't look as flimsy as you see. Mega Dave tends to play. He's played one of these, and he also plays was it a Jackson V, a few different. They always look kind of brittle. His guitars somehow. This one doesn't look as brittle. You're just something to do with it because it's got thin bits on it, and it looks dead light and not poncy, but sort of like be a bit delicate with it. No, you can kick this thing about. It's all right. Obviously, I did have the thought. This was originally didn't have this bit. This cutaway was done by Neil Moser, apparently. The plan was here, like my Washburn 8-string bass, it had 4 tuners here, and it doubled up the strings, so you got like not a 12-stringer, although I think there was a 12-string version. The double neck one's a 12-stringer, but this was originally a 10-string guitar, like the original concept for it. And it had 4 of the strings tuned. Had the tuners here, and then I obviously just went through like a ferrule and the headstock. To be honest, the reason I've never done that is I don't like the idea of it didn't double up the E and the A. So it was like, why wouldn't you double up the E and the A? I want a 12-stringer, you know what I mean? And then, so basically what you had was like octaves of the D and the G, which is fine, and then just copies of the B and the E, like a 12-stringer, it's just 2 strings in unison like a mandolin. So you get a sort of chorus sound when you play them, but it's not like the octave thing. So you're really only getting 2 extra. Maybe I should try and build one. I'm not cutting this one up, it's too good. Maybe if I can find a cheap one. You don't get cheap BC Riches anymore. They used to be cheap. I went through a few of those the Bronze Series Warlocks, and they're really good guitars. They're kind of the cheaper end. They feel a bit cheap, and you look at them and you go, "Oh, this is a cheap one," but it's a functioning guitar. I much prefer the bronze ones to some of the other ranges, which were expensive and fancy looking, but wasn't really any different from the Bronze Series one, but it was 3 times the price, and it's like, well, I'll have the cheap one then, because it kind of feels the same and sounds the same, and the build quality is the same, it's just it doesn't have a fancy paint job or, a Floyd Rose. Yeah. This is the sort of guitar I would love to turn up to just like the most inappropriate thing with. I don't know, if you're trying out for what kind of band would I be going for? I don't know. If I was depping in that the blues band I was in for a couple of weeks that I really enjoyed. Hey Paul, yeah, well, I would love to turn up. I'd love to turn up in a blues band with this. That pair, yeah, and everyone's sitting there, with their Telecasters and they're sitting in their saxophones and sensible things. You turn up. I'll just turn up with this. Because the thing is, it could totally do it, and it'd be great. bit less distortion. Go for the mild overdrive. What the single coils are in series? I wish I had used this in Cranking House a bit more, just for a look. I think I kind of stopped using it, so we stopped playing that fucking Kiss song. It's just air. By the hour. And then, honestly, about 6 minutes in, oh. This guitar's fucking amazing. Again, electric strings, these are probably about 3 or 4 years old, but a very different guitar to... Oh, the RG's down there, can you still see it? Not really. The RG, I was saying it's the most weirdest of guitars, where it's like it's really different and stuff like that. This, to be honest, is far more outrageous looking, but this is much more a normal guitar. It's like, that's the thing, like, so this is from the video yesterday when I was saying, it's like, see if the fictional jam, it's like here someone is like, okay, I play a Strat for 20 years. Which one, do you want to join in here? And he had the choice of offering him the RG, the Bill Gilbert, which looks pretty much like a Strat, or this. Even though it's a different scale length, I'd give them this, because this feels like a normal guitar. Also, I think there would be an element of perverse pleasure of giving them up here, I play this, and just going to go, oh fuck, I can't play that, and they're going to go, oh no, this is actually quite good, no, this will be fine. Just don't look at it, as long as you don't look at it, you know. So I need to have a look into it. I kind of plan to get the set of BC Rich's. The set really only consists of one that I don't have, which is the Warlock, of the ones I want. I've had a couple of other shapes. No, so for me it's the BICH, the Mockingbird, the Warlock, and even though I'd never seen one before I bought one, the Wave. I don't like the BC Rich Flying V's. I had a JPAX one of them, or I wired one of them for Darren 6 months ago. Too pointy. A Flying V I like, an original Flying V. I don't like the pointy ones. I think the Widow headstock on it as well. Actually, there is a BC Rich which I still regret not buying. The reason I didn't buy it is because it only had one pickup. It's like, damn, it was a wee guy in an Indian guy, an Asian guy in Bishop Briggs. This is going back 15 years. He had one. He only wanted 250 quid for it, and it was a through neck Warlock with that headstock, but it was upside down, a single DiMaggio super distortion looking thing, and it was neck through it, a spalted maple top. If you've ever seen one of them, they look amazing. They're not at this quality level though, unfortunately. It's all the fanciness. I remember having a Mockingbird as well, the Slash one, and I bought it really cheap because it had a big chunk out it. And at the time, they had one in Guitar, which had been reduced. This is just when maybe about 5 years ago when BC Richard kind of closed down. They've started up again as a different company, but they were kind of closed down, and it was reduced to $6.99 or $7.99 in the shop, and the guitar was nothing like as good as this. They're still the same company. Oh, that was the Mockingbird. I've got a Mockingbird as well, but it was it's night and day. It was like a toy or a real one. It's like pure, yeah. It's like pure. Oh, do you want a steak or do you want some steak flavoured McCoys? Potato chips if you're American. And it's like pure, yeah. Well, just not the same thing. That's it. I mean, BC Rich, their current models look fucking amazing. They're extremely fancy, but it was like what BC Rich did was they started at this point. These were too good. Was a problem. So they stopped making the real. They got to that point of going, why are people buying these guitars and they're getting a really good guitar? We could instead make a guitar that looks pretty much the same as this, costs half as much to build, and sell it for the same amount of money. Hey, Harley Benton, that kind of thing. And so they kind of did that, and then I think BC Rich were still expensive up until the sort of 90s, and then they brought out those bronze ones, and then they just seemed to produce nothing but, maybe just because I never saw them in the shops. It's, you know, like the £120 I think at the time versions of these things were about all the time. Actually, I just remembered I did actually have a Warlock that I wanted to keep, but I didn't have any money. It was it called a maggot brain or something like that? It was one of the, you know, I was talking about the body art one. It's got the girl's bum on a bitch. It was a Warlock. With 1 year that they had every month, they released a different, like a bitch or a mockingbird or whatever, and a different graphic on it. Apart from this one, this was like released all year round. The one with the bum on it. It was an amazing guitar. I really liked that. It wasn't at the level of the Japanese ones. I needed the money, so I sold it. So maybe at some point the right Warlock will pass me by. Well, no, the right Warlock will pass through me. No, I'll get one if I'm meant to have one. Sounds phenomenal, this guitar. And the neck is a Strat. I do fancy taking this up to my pal's house. They play kind of acoustics, and I don't know. I always slag them off for wearing sort of a pipe smoking jumper, wearing beard stroking, sitting in Starbucks with your white Apple laptop music. In jest, of course, but basically they don't play heavy metal, and I'd love to have a wee jam with them with this. Because obviously I'd turn up and give it pure, haha, here we go. But another thing you can later this with this is this neck joint. That's a very small, very little. Maybe the actual heel. There is actually, I think, room for a normal size plate. It was one of those things you think, oh, the bigger the contact area. I think if you're the same person building two guitars, then maybe there would be an advantage to having, you know, the set neck or the through neck might make a wee difference if it's the same person building it. But if you build a bolt neck better, then it's miles better than a averagely built through neck or set neck. The actual set neck thing doesn't make it better, it's how well it's built makes it better. So you get very well built bolt-on neck guitars, even though they should be cheaper. Right, I'm going to stop now. There you go. There's my 10-minute bitch video. I'm off to Jen's to... Oh, shit, I'm late. I'm going to get into trouble. Going to get my ass kicked. Rock on! Thumbnail!